how's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining me on this episode of Best and Worst Track of the Week on the Music Reviewer podcast. My name's Josh, and today we have the week of August 22nd on the Billboard Hot 100, where if this is your first time joining me on Best and Worst Track of the Week, thanks for tuning in. All I do is take the new entries into the Billboard Hot 100, give them all a letter grade, and take one that's the best and one that's the worst. But yeah, it was quite a dynamic week, I think. A lot of interesting things coming in, a lot of other things happening too. But before that, I just want to let everyone know that a new episode of my album review series is out over the Dreamland album by Glass Animals. I had quite a few thoughts on it. I think it didn't feel like it, but it was, I think, one of my longest episodes so far. But yeah, and also the one before that was the Washed Out album as well, if you hadn't listened to that as well. Just keep in mind, there's also the YouTube channel if you're ever, if the podcast isn't convenient to stream. YouTube, I have the Music Reviewer channel. Just search the Music Reviewer podcast. And then maybe the episode you want to tune into, but the channel is active. It has the same logos. But yeah, let's get right to it. So, as predicted on last week's episode, the number one track of the week on the Billboard Hot 100, unsurprisingly, is WAP by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Obviously, the music video probably gave it a boost, and also the song, the contents of the song are just, were controversial. It was going to happen. Other things that I thought were interesting, Mood Swing with by Pop Smoke and Lil TJ is still moving up to 17. I don't know what's up with that. I thought it was the worst track of the week when it entered. So again, the general public consensus is against mine. Same thing with the Kane Brown Be Like That featuring Sway Lee and Khalid. Still moving up to 37. Yeah, that was the worst track of the week as well. One week. Should probably go to bed. Is actually proving to be what I'm saying about it. I thought it was a terrible song. I should probably go to bed by Dan and Shay. Felt hard at 60. Seems like that people are probably getting the gist that it's not going to be a hit. I don't know. Another thing is AJR keeps on moving up to 69 slowly but surely. Don't know when that momentum is going to slow down, but a band like AJR generally doesn't stick around too long in the Billboard Hot 100, so something's up with that. Parker McCollum's Pretty Hard is still coming up at 77. That was one of our best tracks of the week one week, so I think that's nice. Move Your Hips by ASAP Ferg and Nicki Minaj went down hard to 99. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad. But yeah, I think those were the things I was kind of felt were interesting. But yeah, let's get right into the song reviews. So we start with "Bitch from the South" by Mulatto. Mulatto. I don't know why I said it like that. Came in quite low, but interesting artist. I guess she's just up and coming female rapper. Interesting title for her artist name as well, her stage name. Kind of thought that was a derogatory term, but I guess if she's, self-imposing on herself, it might not be. But nonetheless, the song itself kind of reminds me of a trend that's going on with female rappers in particular right now. After the success of Bodak Yellow, a lot of them are just trying to recreate that. Also, I thought the track was a little unoriginal. It samples My 6'4", or at least it sounds like it takes from the melody heavily. Megan Thee Stallion literally just did that with her last single that didn't feature Cardi B. And I gotta say, this song really doesn't distinguish itself much other than it's just a different rapper. It kind of, the production wise, the bass hits sound a little weak at times. It might not be a terrible thing, but I felt like if it's going for that sound, might as well just go all out. It's that definitely I'm a bad bitch rap style. The flow and delivery does get better towards the end, so I think the performance does have a bit of charisma. But it just seems derivative of what Megan Thee Stallion just did, and overall, it's just trying to catch the attention that Bodak Yellow did at one point for Cardi B. The beat's unoriginal, little to no nuance on that. It becomes a little bit of drab, and yeah, I gave this song a C. Next track came in a couple spots up over the Bitch from the South was Some Girls by Jameson Rodgers. Jameson Rodgers is a up and coming country artist, but he's not like this young, like gleamy eyed, young talent. He's middle aged, and I guess he's been in and out of the country scene for a while. But seems like his first breakthrough hit. The song overall is okay. It does sound overly generic at times, and I would say Rodgers' voice is a little undistinguishable, and I think that's been really important when you're singing country. Just so someone's not listening, just so that when someone's listening to your song, they don't think it's another country artist. And I think this could easily happen in a song like this. The track utilizes like elements from like 2010's bro country with just a little bit less on the bro, but the song's topics is about a girl, and it's about like superficial things that happen when you break up. um, at least it's superficial on the surface when it's sung about in a country song. It might mean more to him. The track is structured with this light instrumentation that coats the track, especially in the beginning. There's some pretty simplified acoustic guitars that are in the intro. The organ, when it comes through, sounds nice. Um, However, when the song develops and the chorus comes in, those mids just get buried, and then everything else is just kind of squashed by the drums and the voice, and everything that's interesting that's happening, or anything interesting happening, just kind of gets covered. I do like that it utilizes some pretty practical country electric guitar elements from the 2010s. I tend to like that aesthetic. Stuff that you would hear like on a Thomas Rhett song around that time. I just say it's kind of indistinguishable. I don't see how this breaks out any further. I'd say it's a C plus. Next track was by Rodwave. The track was titled Freestyle. Um, I had not been on this series. I have not really been too into the stuff that Rodwave comes out with. A lot of it I've seen. A lot of it at times I'd say was just not too distinguishable to me either, with the trap percussion in some of the songs, and I guess Rodway's voice. But he has two tracks on this week that came in, and they really surprised me. I really do like what's going on these tracks. Freestyle has kind of this 2000s R&B aesthetic. It has like this accompanying piano instrumentation that would have been used during that time as well. I think it's a little bit charming. I like the little electric guitar embellishments that come in and out. It just gives a refreshing breath of like something new going on in R&B. There's not just like some stupid trap beat on here. There's actually some sort of like original composition. The flow and singing is performed tastefully. I think it's quite sensitive at times. There are elements that are like Post Malone like, but it keeps its own, I guess, charm. The trap percussion isn't overbearing either. There's actually some space in the track. I gave it a B plus. The next track was Mood featuring Iann Dior and 24K Golden. I really don't know too much about these artists. I just did a slight research on Iann Dior. I've heard of 24K Golden before. I guess Iann Dior is an up and coming trap pop rapper that's from Corpus. I was born in Puerto Rico. Uh, I'd say this song is just very derivative of like this, like Land in Cube and Little Skies. It's regurgitative like their style and that collab album they did. The track overall, the instrumentation and production's okay. I like the playful guitar riff that it's structured around. It's definitely pop trap, and it kind of has like this fuckboy trap aesthetic, I'd say, especially with the song's content and the lyrics. Overall, I think it's just a little bit derivative as well. I feel like Iann Dior stands out a little bit more compared to 24K Golden. But to me, his verse was just a little too short, and it just didn't really do much for me. The soft aesthetic overall with this like bubblegum poppiness. Nothing too hard about it. Um, just didn't really gravitate towards my taste, but I gave this a C. The next track was a lot of the same thing. My ex's best friend with Machine Gun Kelly and Blackbear. I know Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly. I think it's the first time I'm talking about him on here. He's been doing his thing for a while as like this alternative white rapper. And Blackbear, I didn't even bother looking him up too much. I think a long time ago I read he's just this producer, up and coming that's making his rounds in the pop scene. But uh, boy, was this song I guess okay. I mean, it was really boring on some moments. A lot of it's just Post Malone rip-off stuff. It's guitar-based instrumentation as well with the trap beat over it. It's a little pop punky, especially in those moments when Machine Gun Kelly is like singing. It actually outshines his rapping, and I feel like this is what the downfall of it is. Any rapping or R&B trap and moments are just kind of boring and generic. I feel like Blackbear seems like the weaker link on this song. Um, but when that pop punk aesthetic kind of comes through, it's not a bad track. But overall, I didn't think it was anything too special. I give it a C as well. Next track was a bit of a surprise as well. I thought it was by Ava Max, an artist that I was anticipating to be either a female rapper or just another rapper. The track is titled Kings and Queens. This track was quite good. It had an obvious Lady Gaga influence in the chorus. It has this upbeat and poppy aesthetic as well. It kind of holds true to those normal pop aesthetics too, as well. There's no trap beats in it. There's no overly seductive pop tropes like in an Ariana Grande track. And the message of the track is great as well. I had to do some research on Ava Max. Apparently, she's a pop artist that had a song that got kind of big in 2018. The title of the track was "Sweet but Psycho." I think it came out in 2018, and I did some research, and apparently that was a single to the album that's supposed to be dropping. I think it's September. Yeah, I guess it's an artist with a little bit of label trouble, or her album keeps on getting pushed back. But I think this track was great. I didn't think anything was wrong with it. I like the electric guitar interlude that happens in the track. It sounds like a Josh Homme guitar performance. And the obvious, I guess, influence from Lady Gaga is nice, but it's not overbearing as well. I thought it was a good track. So I'll be looking forward to that album when it drops. I gave this one an A minus. It almost got best track of the week actually. The next track charted quite high as well. It didn't quite get number one, but this was Smile by Juice WRLD and The Weeknd. This track has the standard Juice WRLD song topic with being depressed, and it's a little bit self-deprecating in the mood as well. At times, the chorus can feel a little like robotic, especially how Juice WRLD sings things. And there's a huge contrast with like when The Weeknd comes in and sings. It feels like almost a completely different song. But overall, it has like the dark, mysterious moments in a Juice WRLD track. It has a nice instrumental, but at times it's just buried under the percussion in that sub bass. So um, overall, I think it probably could have just been touched differently. Overall, the message of the song is decent. I like the string passage at the end. I thought that was quite lovely, and I gave it a B plus. The next track is WAP by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Of course, we're going to cover this. I don't think this is a bad song overall. Cardi B sounds a little bit better from when I last heard her. I was not a fan of her debut album in terms of how she holds her own against rappers in general, let alone female rappers. I think she lacks in her technicality. Her delivery and flow is pretty, I guess, monotonous. It's to me, it sounds practically the same on every song. So I do have issues with Cardi B in general, but I do think Megan Thee Stallion is kind of a superior rapper. And in this track, I still can't get over Cardi B's delivery and the obvious interference her accent does when it bleeds into her delivery. I know it's probably not her fault, but it just doesn't sound good to me. It really doesn't. The way she enunciates things just bothers me. And then when Megan Thee Stallion comes into this track, she just sounds miles better than her, and she has better flow, more technical talent, has a dirtier delivery with more enthusiasm. And I will say that Cardi B does get better by the second verse. And the production is quite minimal too. It's skeletal. It's like sparse percussion, and it's just played over the sample. But overall, I do like the track. It's the track's energy and topics. I think they're pretty pretty entertaining. I give it a B plus. All right, so now we got to the part where we are worst track of the week. I gotta say this week I really struggled finding something that was the worst because there's just so much generic things, like the Iann Dior and 24K Golden song, and then the Blackbear Machine Gun Kelly, and then even the Mulatto song. But this just kind of bothered me. This track here, La Hipeta, by Nio Garcia, Anuel AA, Myke Towers, Brray, and Juanka. This is a reggaeton track that recently had a remix, I guess a remix released from the original track. And I think this is the only reason why it's charting because the remix, the artists that were added on here, Brray and Juanka, are miles ahead of like any performance that were on the original track. So it's understandable, but that just calls for a elongated track over this boring beat, a generic reggaeton beat at that, with one of the reggaeton's most, I guess, static and like uninteresting artists, Anuel AA, from what I heard of him. And it just kind of just comes out to this lackluster and flat track. It just has too many features after the remix version, and then it takes advantage. The track is a little obnoxious at the beginning with like this chipmunk sample hook thing. It's weird seeing that a song without Bad Bunny and Ozuna or J Balvin charting, and I like that, but the opportunity here is wasted because I don't see this song really having much significance. Unfortunately, the Juanka and Brray parts are the best parts of the track because they actually demonstrate some rap skill and they sound distinct in the features. The instrumental is overly simplified and a bit skeletal. The reggaeton beat and melodic ostinato that structures the track are just so repetitive, and I guess they're because they have to be. Um, and unfortunately, I don't mean to pick on this guy, Anuel AA, but unfortunately, he seems like he has a knack for boring tracks. So this was the worst song of the week. I didn't hate the track, but I just thought it was boring and too long. But on a side note, now we are to not on a side note, but now on to the best track of the week. So we end on a positive note. I'm really happy I discovered this song and that the song was on here, especially since I was kind of not expecting it. Letter from Houston by Rodwave. I don't know why this track resonated with me so much. It could just be my own taste, probably my own taste. I don't know if this is really going to be that big of a song, but I love the classic 2000s R&B aesthetic that this song has, and also the last one did. But this one it kind of just appeals to those emotions on this track. It has a sensitive bass guitar in the intro, a light guitar in the mix. The piano instrumentation is charming as well. It just does everything tastefully, not to get in the way of the vocal performance as well. It's just a song about being in love with someone and just missing their partner, and reminiscing about missing someone and what makes a relationship special. I love the background vocal embellishments. And later, when the track later develops, it sounds really pretty. The vocals are performed with passion and sensitivity, and they're performed well. He's a good vocalist when he really tries to hit his higher register, and then his loud belting comes out well. I gave this track worst track of the week. I'm kind of hoping this kind of catches on if Broadway becomes bigger, because God knows does pop music need some sort of mix up, especially with all the trap that's going on. But yeah, this is best and worst track of the week for the week of August 22nd. I'll catch you guys next week, and thank you for listening. If you made it this far, take care of yourselves.